Huawei's leading position in the smartphone market has relied on stealing chips for survival. Chinese AI company DeepSeek may also have to resort to chip theft to stay afloat. On January 3rd, a Tokyo-based computer parts store announced the sale of Nvidia's GeForce RTX5090 graphics cards in limited quantities, with prices ranging from 200,000 to 580,000 yen. This announcement attracted a line of over 100 people. Although the store warned customers not to queue before 3 p.m., many started waiting outside around lunchtime. As 3 p.m. approached, the crowd grew, even affecting nearby traffic. A Japanese witness described hearing loud shouts from the crowd, with many of them speaking in Chinese. When the staff began distributing lottery tickets, the crowd surged into the store, creating chaos. Two individuals, suspected to be Chinese, even climbed over a neighboring kindergarten's fence in an attempt to cut the line, damaging the school's sign in the process. The store's operating company, Unitcom, stated that the crowd size far exceeded expectations, with around 300 people showing up. They said it was the most chaotic situation in the 20-plus years of the store's operation. Despite sending over 20 staff members to maintain order and informing early queuers that their spots would be invalid, language barriers made the situation difficult to control. Eventually, the store decided to cancel the in-person lottery and switch to an online system. Japanese media analysis suggests that the larger number of Chinese may be linked to U.S. semiconductor export restrictions. The United States has imposed semiconductor export controls on China, including graphics cards like the RTX5090. To comply with these restrictions, the version sold in China is labeled RTX5090D and has significant performance differences, including fewer tensor cores for AI processing and reduced graphics capabilities. When the RTX 4090 graphics cards were released, China received the limited performance D version, causing resale prices of the full version from other countries to skyrocket, even to double the original price. Although many ordinary Japanese consumers were also hoping to buy computer parts, the issue lies in the fact that each store had only about 15 RTX 5090 cards available. The supply was extremely limited. It remains unclear whether those who purchase the RTX 5090 will be able to legally bring the cards into China. If they are allowed, the situation could evolve from a simple resale issue to a more serious political problem. On February 3rd, a report from Sina Finance in China revealed that the RTX 5090's graphics card could be a critical substitute for DeepSeek's AI needs. DeepSeek researchers announced in December 2024 that their DeepSeek V3 model, which was due for release on January 10th, surpassed other major models in several benchmarks. They achieved this using Nvidia's non-high-end H800 chips, with a training cost of just $5.6 million. On January 20th, they released the DeepSeek R1 inference model, claiming its performance was comparable to OpenAI's GPT-3. Initially, discussions about DeepSeek and OpenAI's ChatGPT showed a modest increase on social media, but starting January 24th, there was a significant surge, continuing into the weekend. In a report submitted to the U.S. government, New York-based analytics company Graphica noted that large-scale Chinese Communist Party cyber troops had been spreading news about DeepSeek on U.S. social media. This included Chinese diplomats, embassy staff, and state media. These cyber troops not only amplified reports about DeepSeek, but also promoted the narrative that DeepSeek challenges U.S. dominance in AI. On January 27th, DeepSeek topped the U.S. Apple App Store download charts. Following media coverage of DeepSeek's low-cost training, concerns grew about the necessity and competitiveness of Nvidia's fastest chips, as well as the massive investments by tech companies in AI models and data centers. On that day, Nvidia and Broadcom's market value dropped by approximately $800 billion. Soon after, Brad Gerstner, the founder of Silicon Valley's Altimeter Capital, posted on social media calling the report fake news. Even when comparing one-on-one, the results are not the same. First, OpenAI has not disclosed the development costs of its AI product O1. According to Gerstner's estimate, the cost of O1 is around $15 million. So when comparing the training costs of OpenAI and DeepSeek, it should be $15 million versus $6 million. Secondly, considering that DeepSeek launched almost a year later than OpenAI, its costs should have been reduced by over 50%. According to a recent report by tech company Anthropic, DeepSeek's performance lags behind theirs by 7 to 10 months. Logically, as technology costs decrease, there should be a 3 to 4 times efficiency improvement every year. Gerstner told CNBC that, in other words, DeepSeek is just meeting expectations and did not make a major breakthrough in pricing. In a research report published on January 31st, semiconductor research and consulting firm SemiAnalysis said DeepSeek's hardware spending on GPUs alone exceeds $500 million. The total capital expenditure for servers is around $1.6 billion, with as much as $944 million spent on operating its chip clusters. Stacy Raskin, managing director and senior analyst for U.S. semiconductors and semiconductor capital equipment at Bernstein Research, stated in a report that DeepSeek's training cost figures are highly misleading, and that DeepSeek didn't really recreate OpenAI with just over $5 million. Furthermore, DeepSeek's claim that non-high-end chips could achieve or even surpass the performance of OpenAI's official version, which uses advanced chips, is a blatant lie. Earlier, we exposed on our program a Beijing-based company that smuggles Nvidia graphics cards for DeepSeek. They claim to have Nvidia's H100 cards, which the U.S. government has banned from being exported to China. DeepSeek's surge in success, they said, is due to its computing power being multiple times greater than Nvidia's RTX4090. The company's owner admitted to breaking U.S. laws and revealed that the person who helped him smuggle the Nvidia cards has been placed on the U.S. blacklist twice. He also mentioned the newly released Nvidia H200 graphics card is currently the most expensive on the market. This is one of the 200 units that just arrived. We only unpacked it this morning. The individual bragging online about smuggling may not realize that due to his foolishness, DeepSeek will face much greater difficulty in stealing chips in the future. Recently, an executive in Silicon Valley AI revealed that DeepSeek has acquired about 50,000 Nvidia high-end AI H100 chips through various channels. The company relies heavily on Nvidia's H100 AI chips to train its language models. Reuters reported that after the U.S. implemented strict controls on advanced chips to China, organized efforts to smuggle AI chips into China have emerged, involving countries like Singapore, Malaysia, and the UAE. The U.S. government is currently investigating whether DeepSeek purchased Nvidia's high-end chips through a third-party company in Singapore. Subhash KM, CEO of tech media White Noise, recently posted on LinkedIn, pointed out that statistics show a massive 740% increase in Nvidia's sales in Singapore since DeepSeek's establishment. The industry is now discussing whether DeepSeek has illegally obtained Nvidia's high-end chips through Singapore. Nvidia's Q3 financial report, released last November, revealed that sales in Singapore accounted for nearly 22% of the company's total revenue. The report also noted that shipments related to Singapore revenue are sent to regions outside Singapore, while local shipments are minimal. There's been ongoing speculation that Singapore has been covertly facilitating the smuggling of advanced chips to China. The Economist previously reported that U.S. semiconductor export bans on China have been ineffective in part due to Singapore's role in helping China acquire chips. It has already been confirmed that a company registered in Singapore was caught acting as a middleman, smuggling advanced TSMC chips to Huawei for its smartphones. DeepSeek has not yet responded to these allegations. Nvidia's spokesperson emphasized in a statement that the company would take appropriate action if any violations are reported. Clearly, the Trump administration has kept a close eye on DeepSeek, which the Chinese Communist Party sees as the Huawei of the AI industry. A video by a suspected Chinese AI worker hinted that Nvidia's most advanced graphics cards may soon be harder to obtain.
A graphics card that sells for 2 million yuan in China is 3 to 4 times the price in the US, but it's still hard to get. This is a US government sanction on China's AI computing cards, the H200. What's worse is that now even the RTX5090 gaming graphics cards are no longer available to us. They can't compete with our country in terms of algorithmic application labor costs, so they've started a tech war against us, restricting our tech industry development, but there are no comparable products in China. If we fall behind, we'll get beaten. U.S. semiconductor export bans will only get stricter, so how will we survive next year? How will we survive in the computing power sector?
DeepSeek rose to fame due to its low-cost hardware development for AI language models, but it has faced a series of negative issues, including cybersecurity risks, accusations of stealing US AI models, and using false advertising to influence stock prices. Its reputation in the AI industry has collapsed at an unprecedented rate. A report from NewsGuard, a news reliability rating service, showed that DeepSeek's chatbot repeats false statements 30% of the time and provides vague or useless answers 53% of the time, resulting in a failure rate of 83%. In the NewsGuard audit, DeepSeek's chatbot achieved only 17% accuracy in delivering news and information, ranking 10th out of 11 competitors, far behind Western rivals like OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. Despite these shortcomings, DeepSeek claims that its technology's performance is on par with, or even better than OpenAI, but at a fraction of the cost. The most ironic part is that the AI chatbot, which was briefly seen as a source of pride for the Chinese Communist Party, has recently been reported to have insulted the party leader, Xi Jinping. US-based political commentator Chen Po-kung stated that DeepSeek is nothing more than a software for Xi Jinping, used by the Chinese Communist Party for political propaganda. Its answers are all based on the CCP's standard responses. When asked about Taiwan, DeepSeek responds, Taiwan is part of the People's Republic of China. Regarding the Xinjiang internment camps and issues related to Uyghurs, it replies in line with the CCP's narrative, saying you should visit China and Xinjiang to see for yourself and not be misled by false information. Moreover, it fails to provide results for topics related to Hong Kong, Tibet, Chinese dissidents, or Hong Kong pro-democracy activists. It seems to be a version of OpenAI with heavy censorship. Ironically, even Xi Jinping's name is a banned search term in DeepSeek. When asked who is Xi Jinping or who is the top leader of China, it avoids answering, stating that it cannot respond to such questions. Chen Po-kung sarcastically commented, it's strange that Xi Jinping himself is a banned search term. Xi Jinping doesn't exist on DeepSeek, while leaders from other countries do. He further pointed out that although DeepSeek avoids answering questions about Xi Jinping, when asked about a famous quote from Xi Jinping that he once carried 100 kilograms of wheat on a 10-mile mountain road without changing shoulders, DeepSeek responded in a way that seemed to mock him. DeepSeek replied, this kind of saying is commonly used to praise the strong will of workers and soldiers, but in practice, carrying heavy objects without changing shoulders for a long time is neither realistic nor in line with human biomechanics. It can easily cause bodily harm. Therefore, it is more of a metaphor for perseverance and endurance rather than a description of actual behavior. This implies that the CCP's DeepSeek is indirectly accusing Xi Jinping of lying, suggesting that the personal experience Xi Jinping referred to doesn't exist and is merely a metaphor. Some have even speculated that this could be a veiled critique of long-term unchanging leadership, thus symbolically slapping Xi Jinping in the face. For DeepSeek, this is a serious flaw. As an AI serving the CCP, it's supposed to unquestioningly praise anything Xi Jinping has said, regardless of truth or logic. Yet, mocking the words of its party leader shows that DeepSeek fails to fulfill its intended purpose. However, since DeepSeek is often called the Huawei of AI, it clearly shares a common trait with Huawei. It is more skilled at engaging in questionable acts than pursuing legitimate endeavors. Israeli cybersecurity firm Kela discovered that when researchers tested DeepSeek by asking it to help write ransomware and other malicious software, it complied, generating malicious code that could steal credit card information from specific browsers and send it to a remote server. DeepSeek R1 even suggested purchasing stolen data from underground markets and provided tips on money laundering. Kela's researchers concluded that DeepSeek R1 is a highly vulnerable program that is easily bypassed. The researchers noted that because DeepSeek is an open-source model that publicly displays its reasoning steps, this increases the possibility of it being exploited through jailbreaks and adversarial attacks. Malicious actors can use these visible reasoning paths to identify and exploit vulnerabilities, potentially using the program for harmful purposes. In contrast, the GPT-01 preview model hides its reasoning process and has necessary safeguards in place. DeepSeek has not responded to the findings of Kilo's research. Given that DeepSeek has low accuracy in practical use, poses significant cybersecurity risks, and has a poor reputation in the industry, it has already been restricted or banned by several countries. On January 28th, the U.S. Navy announced it would prohibit the use of DeepSeek due to cybersecurity concerns. On January 31st, Texas also declared a ban on the use of the software by state government agencies. Italy's regulatory authorities on January 30th required DeepSeek to respond to several user security-related questions, including data collection, sources, legal basis, and storage locations. Within hours, DeepSeek proactively removed its app from both the Apple App Store and Google Play in Italy. On January 31st, Taiwan's Ministry of Digital Affairs announced that, based on national cybersecurity concerns, it would advise public agencies and critical infrastructure to limit the use of DeepSeek AI products to avoid potential threats to national security. Additionally, countries like South Korea, France, Germany, Japan, Ireland, Australia, and India have demanded that DeepSeek explain how it handles personal information and have subsequently blocked the app. According to latest reports, multiple U.S. cybersecurity companies have confirmed that between 50% and 70% of their clients have banned employees from using DeepSeek, primarily due to concerns that DeepSeek could leak data to the Chinese government. With DeepSeek facing a comprehensive ban in the AI industry, its commercial value has effectively become zero. No matter how much the Chinese Communist Party invests in it, the expected returns will not materialize. As for the rumors that the CCP intends to fund it or use it to boost patriotic sentiment, this has become a laughingstock. With Huawei, which has long been known for stealing technology, standing as a global example, DeepSeek's deceptive practices are increasingly difficult to sustain. The smuggling routes for chips are continually being cut off, forcing it to resort to rogue tactics to steal graphic cards worldwide. In the past, Chinese people were seen hoarding everyday goods like baby formula and toilet seats. At least, those were consumer goods. But now the situation is different with the theft of graphics chips. Governments worldwide are unlikely to tolerate such criminal behavior.